Kakashi vs Obito is by far one of the most popular fights within the Naruto anime and is very well known for its intense hand-to-hand clashes within the fight. And that makes me want to go back to the fight and break down to see who was the better fighter and who truly was the man on the night. For those of you who watch combat sports, then you know all about the 10-point scoring system, but for those of you who don't know, as we score each round, the winner and loser's points will be split between 10 to 9. Although a round can go to 10 to 8 if things really get bad for the other fighter. And at the end of the fight, I'll show you guys the full scores and stats from the fighters, but just remember, it's not always the deciding factor if someone gets taken out before that final bell rings. This fight will be scheduled for 3 rounds. By the way, if you're new to the channel and want to see more Naruto content from myself, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave ideas for future content down below. Kakashi and Obito stare each other down. They both know the weight of this fight and they're both trying to win. And right away, they both run at each other, making this a race to see who can land the first hit. The two clash, and then this fight becomes an insanely intense close-quartered fight between Kakashi and Obito. I mean, look right here. They're both dodging, blocking, landing shots, and then Kakashi ends up pushing back Obito and chasing him down. Kakashi throws his own punch, which Obito blocks. Kakashi then goes to throw another strike, but Obito's able to land a body shot of his own right before Kakashi's able to hit him. I also think this is important because when you noticed when Obito landed the body shot and he brings his arm back, you see that Kakashi's right arm is in a pretty bad position with how it's already somewhat extended in the air, and also we see that he can't really do much because of Obito's right arm. And now the problem with that is because when you look at how close Kakashi and Obito actually are in this instance, you see that Kakashi can't kick, so it's kind of put in a position where his right arm he can't use in this moment. He also can't kick Obito, so all that's left is for him to use his left hand, and the other problem with that is he's currently standing in an orthodox position, so his left side is in front, and on top of that, he can't go with any straight strikes with the way that his arm is positioned. Kakashi then goes for another strike, which Obito slips under. Very quickly afterwards, Obito grabs and pushes down on Kakashi's tricep, as now he's in a position where his arm is fully extended out, and also Obito has a hold of that arm, so he currently can't use it in this instance. Although in my opinion, Obito kind of wasted this opportunity, as right afterwards he goes and tries to punch Kakashi, and he just missed. I think he wasted that because there were so many other things that you could have done that would have been more effective. When Obito has control of his arm, look at how much of his body Kakashi has completely undefended. It's his whole left side that he can't defend because Obito has a hold of his arm. And it's just like, Obito could have easily taken one of his chakra rods and just stabbed Kakashi in the body, in the throat, whatever. Or if we're just talking about like hand to hand, it would have been better for Obito to have taken his left knee and just kneed Kakashi in the body right underneath where his left arm is, because his left arm is literally extended outwards. And I think that you would have had a higher chance of being able to land, and also these would have been way more effective strikes, especially if he can cut open Kakashi. But right afterwards, Kakashi, even though he's kind of being brought down to the ground by Obito, you see he's still able to shift his balance and weight to the point where he can actually throw a round kick, but Obito ends up blocking it. Off screen, Kakashi was actually able to hit Obito in the mouth, and we actually see like a bit of blood coming out and a bit of blood dripping down his lip. Kakashi then goes in with this weird fucking kick. This guy literally stands in southpaw, jumps and spins as if maybe he were to throw like some sort of flying hook kick or a flying crescent kick. But while he's in the air and his leg is chambered to throw the kick, he then switches legs and then ends up doing a flying side kick. I'm not gonna lie, weird as fuck. He also misses this, by the way. Kakashi then goes to throw 3 kicks and all 3 of them don't land. Obito dodges all of them. Kakashi then goes to throw a cross, which Obito's able to slip around, and Obito's slip ends up turning into a spinning side kick, and he hits Kakashi's armpit. But what he's able to do is, when you throw a spinning kick, you have to spin the kick around to bring it back to where it once was. It's like a full circular motion, and when doing that, that force of bringing the leg all the way back to Obito's body around actually throws Kakashi off, and he actually like spins around and falls to the floor. When you actually look at what Obito did, and you also look at Kakashi's face once he hits the floor, I'm personally going to be scoring that as a knockdown for Obito. Obito then tries to get the jump on Kakashi, but he's able to move out of the way. Kakashi then gets right back up and immediately is on the defensive, trying to create a bit of space between him and Obito. Kakashi then pulls out a kunai, but Obito's defense is really strong. He doesn't get cut once. Obito then is able to take his chakra rods and wrap them around Kakashi's hand, and from there, he's able to knock the kunai out of Kakashi's hand. Obito then tries to wrap his chakra rod rod-based chain around Kakashi's head, but Kakashi's able to back out of it, and as the kunai knife is coming back down that was previously knocked out of Kakashi's hand, Kakashi's able to jump and flip, and then kick the kunai straight into Obito's face, cutting his cheek. Obito then turns around and throws a cross at Kakashi, and although Kakashi is able to block it, the force from Obito's punch still sends Kakashi flying back. Kakashi's able to brace himself, and in response to this, Obito immediately pulls out one of his chakra rods, and in response to that, Kakashi equips two kunais of his own. Right away, the two run at each other and they clash. Their clashes continue, and Obito's able to get right behind Kakashi, and from there, he grabs a hold of Kakashi's body and actually flips over Kakashi, and from there, he actually hook kicks Kakashi straight in the face. And luckily, Kakashi's actually like unfazed from this. He's not hurt at all, and continues to clash again with Obito. Kakashi and Obito continue to clash, and we actually see that Obito's able to directly take down Kakashi to the floor, but Kakashi's able to get right back up and continue fighting before Obito can actually do anything further. Right now, we're seeing how close Kakashi and Obito are. As you can kind of see, it's kind of all rinse and repeat. The same things are happening over and over again, and both Kakashi and Obito's attacks on each other keep on failing because of how close these two guys are in skill and in power. What's also important to note is that these guys know each other's playbooks very well. These guys have trained together growing up, and also you can see that although these guys are close in terms of skill and power, you can also see that what's making this so difficult for the other is that both fighters know what kind of moves the other one tends to use or is actually going to use in this encounter. And you could just see how similar this fight is to the ones they would have as kids. Kakashi and Obito continue to go at it, but this time when Kakashi throws a strike, Obito's actually able to catch it in his arm, and when Obito then actually like rotates his arm and body outwards so that way he can apply more pressure directly on Kakashi's arm that's trapped. From here, Obito actually knees Kakashi. Not only does this knee obviously hurt Kakashi, but it also gets Kakashi to loosen the grip that he has over his knife, which leads him to drop it. Right away, Obito actually then tries to hit Kakashi with the fact that he only has one arm free now, but Kakashi still is able to block it. From there, Obito and Kakashi enter this weird clinch, actually not really a clinch, they're in a situation where their hands are locked in with each other, and now both Kakashi and Obito are trying to overpower the other, they're trying to resist each other's forces, and they're just trying to break out. And mid-grab, Obito realizes something. Look at that smile. This guy has the most devious plan there is. What Obito does is, he basically uses their hands being locked to his advantage, using Kakashi's hands along with his own to weave the signs needed to use the fireball jutsu. And as Kakashi actually notices what Obito's trying to do, Obito just front kicks Kakashi straight in the face, and it completely dazed Kakashi. Like, look how stunned he is. Obito then shoots out a fireball jutsu at Kakashi, and Kakashi is able to block it with his mud wall. But the fireball causes an insane amount of smoke being spread all around Kakashi and Obito. And what Obito does is that he throws a kunai that's tied to a piece of his clothing past Kakashi, and he basically was trying to bait out Kakashi, as Kakashi ends up looking at the kunai to see if maybe there was a paper bomb attached to it. And what happens is Kakashi actually turns his back to the other side of the mud wall, which Obito comes straight through, hiding himself with the smoke. And as Kakashi kind of notices that this was kind of just a trick to get him to turn his back, Obito's kick is right there, kicking him in the face, sending him straight down to the ground. Obito then goes right after Kakashi and tries to stab him, but gets intercepted by a shadow clone from Kakashi, and it ends up actually being a lightning style shadow clone, which actually ends up tasing Obito. And then Kakashi takes advantage of this position that he has over Obito and is able to land two kicks on Obito, which knocks down Obito to the floor. But Obito gets right back up and runs straight at Kakashi. Kakashi sees this and does the exact same thing. He runs straight at Obito. This really is it. Obito and Kakashi end up hitting each other at the same time. Obito ends up stabbing Kakashi in the shoulder, and Kakashi ends up actually stabbing through Obito's chest. And then from here, Obito starts coughing up blood. He's bleeding everywhere and drops to the floor. And right here, this is where I'm gonna call the fight to a close. Obito's on the floor. He's grounded. He clearly cannot continue this fight. He's bleeding everywhere. And because of this fight goes to Kakashi in round 1 via TKO. On screen, we have everything added up, and here are the total stats for this fight. After analyzing this fight, what I mainly want to go over is the importance of understanding how in a fight, anything can literally happen. Throughout the fight, in my opinion, I had Obito winning. You see the stats and heard my breakdown on it, so it's not so surprising. And Obito had complete control over the fight. He landed more strikes, landed more significant strikes as well, but it was just the outcome of one exchange that ended the whole entire fight. You can do so well for majority of a fight, but it only takes 5 seconds to get taken out, and that's literally what happened here, where it was that final exchange between Kakashi and Obito, and Kakashi was able to land the hit that he needed to land, where despite everything that we currently have in this fight, it kind of doesn't matter because Obito got taken out. And although this fight only had 1 round, that's why I still left the fight at 10-9, because obviously Kakashi gets the 10 as the winner of the fight, but when it comes to Obito, he still performed so well. He made sure that this was a close fight, and also, as I said earlier, like, I think he was winning beforehand, so with a fight that close, like, it's obviously gonna be a 10-9. And if you want to see me do this again with other fights in the future, please let me know which down in the comment section below for future videos.